If you are spending hours desperately tweaking your swing plane and still slicing the ball into the woods, you're solving the wrong problem. Focusing on your swing path while your hands are sliding is like trying to steer a car with a loose steering wheel. No matter how perfect your arc is, the mechanical disconnect at your hands makes the direction of the club face impossible to predict. Look at this split screen. The left shows the symptom, a flawed swing arc. The right shows the root cause, disconnected hands. See these micro gaps? If your hands aren't a single locked unit, the downswing's torque forces them to slip, opening the club face. Once that connection fails, you lose total control over the club face before you have even reached the top of your backswing. That endless frustration you feel on the range happens because you are prioritizing swing mechanics when you need to be prioritizing hand unity. Most beginners bounce between different grips during a single round, completely guessing based on what feels comfortable in the moment. Treating your hands like a game of trial and error is exactly why your ball flight is so unpredictable. Your brain never gets the chance to establish a baseline muscle memory. Without knowing why, you are likely rotating between three distinct styles. First is the overlap, second is the interlock, and finally the 10-finger grip. We are going to stop the guesswork right now. Today, we figure out your specific physical hand profile and permanently match it to the exact grip you need. If you want a consistent, square ball flight, you have to completely abandon random feel. It comes down to strict anatomical matching. We start with the overlap, also known as the Vardon grip. This is the historical foundation of the modern swing and the gold standard for professional consistency. Here is a matrix breaking down how each grip functions. For the overlap, look at this first column. The physical input is simple. You rest your trail pinky directly in the groove of your lead hand. This specific placement forces your two separate hands to act as one singular hinge throughout the entire swing path, delivering tour-level consistency. But there is a trade-off. To maintain a secure hold without straining your fingers, this grip requires average to large hands. The overlap offers peak performance, but if you try to force it onto a smaller physical hand size, you introduce the exact instability we are trying to eliminate. If you constantly feel the club shifting or slipping during your downswing, you need a different mechanical solution, the interlock. Back on our matrix, looking at the second row. The physical input here requires you to take that trail pinky and forcefully lock it tight between your lead index and middle fingers. That physical bind is the ultimate grip for control. It completely eliminates slipping against the violent forces generated when you transition into the downswing. The trade-off? This is mandatory for players with smaller hands, but it is going to feel incredibly rigid and highly restrictive when you first try it. If you constantly struggle with the club twisting at impact, you have to willingly trade that initial comfort for this mechanical lock to finally gain control. Then there is the 10-finger, or baseball grip. With all 10 fingers directly on the rubber, it feels the most natural and immediately comfortable to a beginner. But that natural feeling is a trap. This chart maps short-term comfort against long-term control. Notice where the 10-finger grip plots, incredibly high on comfort, but dangerously low on control. By keeping your hands entirely separate directly on the grip, you sever the connection. This results in the lowest possible control over the club face angle at impact, falling far behind the unified grips. There is a rare exception. You should only use the baseball grip if you have severe physical limitations, like arthritis, that make the overlapping or interlocking grips physically impossible. Otherwise, relying on this grip means you are actively choosing to sacrifice your long-term accuracy just to avoid a few days of awkwardness on the range. There is no universal best grip for everyone. The only thing that matters is diagnosing your specific point of failure. We can map this out with a simple flowchart. Look at this first node. Do you have smaller hands, or do you actively struggle with the club slipping at the top of your swing? If yes, you route straight to the interlock. If that's not you, move to the next node. Do you have average to large hands and want to build toward the pro standard? If yes, your answer is the overlap. The final failsafe. Do extreme physical limitations or pain prevent the first two options entirely? Only if the answer is yes do you move down to the 10-finger grip. Here is the immediate physical reality. Selecting the anatomically correct grip for your hands is going to feel terrible at first. Pushing through that localized discomfort is the only proven method to permanently align the club face and finally fix the root cause of your slice. This brings us to the 1,000 swing rule. This is the non-negotiable contract you must sign with your newly selected grip. You are going to face immediate psychological friction. You will hit poor shots during this transition, and your brain will beg you to revert to your old, comfortable grip. You have to suppress that urge. The mechanical payoff is worth it. Completing 1,000 repetitions overwrites your old, disconnected habits with permanent, locked-in muscle memory. So here is your immediate challenge. Go to the range today. Hit 10 balls with the overlap and 10 balls with the interlock. Rigidly observe which one actually keeps the club face square at impact. If you are still trapped in indecision after trying them both, leave a comment below. Describe your biggest miss, the severe slice on the left or the hooking path on the right, and I will tell you which grip to test. Real consistency comes from aligning your unique anatomy with the mechanics of the grip, then doing the work to make that connection permanent.